Hey everyone, in this Elden Ring Beginner Guide I'm going to walk you through the start of the game and help you out if you're a new player in 2024. So the game's been out a good while now, a couple of years, and there's a expansion coming soon, so you may be thinking, oh, I'm finally going to get around to having a little look at Elden Ring. So let's walk you through what we've got. First thing I want to point out is on the root menu you can hit the down button on your controller if you're playing with a controller, or go down on the PC to system, and the reason why I want you to look at this is then hit RB or whatever button shows to the right of that little highlighted icon at the top, and this shows you the controls. So these are the Xbox controls, but if you're on a different platform you can see them here. So you can see we access the main menu with the menu button and the map with the little screens button on the Xbox. So have a little look at those on your platform if you're on a different platform to the Xbox. The other thing is you can turn on or off here. You can choose to play online or offline. I've got offline as the option here. I can have blood on or off, subtitles on or off. I can change the HUD. I can turn tutorials on or off, change the brightness, turn the camera directions on, different axes if you want. You can flip them if you want. Camera speed. You can also have the option of controller vibration on or off, ray tracing, all these sort of things as we go. So you get the idea there. So what we're going to do is a new game, and I will walk you through the setup and the starter zone and help you understand the many mechanics that are on offer in Elden Ring, and hopefully get you a little more comfortable with what you're looking at, because it is a big, complicated beast of a game. So, new game. The first thing that you get, and Elden Ring is brilliant at this, is this. Select character base. And you go, huh? So you hit the help button down the bottom. You see it says the screens button for me. That's your help. We go, that's just great, man. So basically what you've got the option here of is to pick a character base, and you can be a vagabond, a warrior, hero, bandit, astrologer, prophet, samurai, prisoner, confessor, wretch. And you're going, great. Difference? What is it? If you hit down the bottom and show attributes, you get a slight hint here. So it shows you how these vary. So we've gone to the end here with the Wretch, which is the most balanced of the setups. So basically with Elden Ring, you've got the ability to excel in certain statistics. So the vigor, the mind, the endurance, strength, dexterity, all of these. And they sort of govern how your character will develop. So for example, if you're interested in magic, there are two types of magic, just for extra confusion. There is sorcery, and there is also incantations, and they are basically governed by the amount of intelligence or faith. The mind also helps with a little bit with that as well, for storing spells and things. If you're more interested in whacking people with swords, that's where strength comes into account. Dexterity is for more exotic weapons. So if you're going to be using a bow and arrow, for example, dexterity would help there. So the samurai would help with that. So you've got different options here with all sorts of stuff. So an astrologer is more geared towards traditional sorcery magic. If you go for a prophet or a confessor, they're more geared towards faith-based magic, so incantation magic. And then you've got all sorts of ones that are a bit in between. So you've got a bandit who's more interested in stealth, so you're going to be using your bow a lot, sneaking up, stabbing people with daggers. You've got the heroes just going to go rocking in, smashing the heck out of everything with that monster strength setting that we've got there. We've got the same sort of thing with the warrior, and then the vagabond is quite balanced. Now, as well as the stats, what you can probably see is the starting weaponry and armor varies as well. So the vagabond's got this rather cool looking armor that we've got here. The warrior's got lighter armor that you can see here. So but two swords that you start out with, a shield as well, so is the vagabond here. And you're probably wondering, well, what one should I go with? Well, it kind of depends on how you want to play. Do you want to be more traditional combat based with a sword and maybe a shield, or do you want to go with a bow, or do you want to go with magic? If you're still not sure, what I would recommend is the Confessor build. And the reason for this is a nice combination of faith-based magic, so incantation, which is using fire. But you've also got fairly good strength. You've got a pretty cool sword to start with, this broadsword. You've got a sacred seal, so you can do your incantation magic. But you've got a kind of bit of a balance between two things. But I love faith-based magic. It's very, very powerful. And if you like fire, this one is going to be cool. So that's who we're going to start with, the Confessor. So we select that, and then body type A or B is just a male or female body type build, so you can pick whatever one. So I will go with type A. So we then need to name our character, and you can have up to 10 builds in the game, so you can call yourself whatever you want. So I'm just going to just use GM for me here, so just the initials of my YouTube name. We've got the type A there, and then we can go and change whether we want to be young, mature, or aged. I'm going to say mature. Maybe not quite aged yet, but I'm going to go mature. So the origin is Confessor. You've also got the option for a keepsake, and what these basically give you is a slight boost at starting the game. So you can have one that increases the maximum at 8 HP. What's this one? The Grace of Gold Shine in the Eyes used to gain many runes. So runes is like your in-game currency that you can use to level up and also buy stuff. Golden Seed. This one I think is quite a useful one. This is for the sacred flasks that help you heal or restore your magical stuff. So I think that's quite a good one, and all these other things here. To save you some hassle, I would just go with Golden Seed. That one's a nice, easy one to do. So go with that. And then you've got the base template, so we can have a little look at this. So you can see there are, basically preset ones here. So you can have a little look and see if you like the look of any of these. So it's even weird grey ones. So if we go back to, say, the warrior, and then we can go into the detailed appearance here and just adjust this however we want. So we can even change the voice that you'll hear from time to time, namely when they scream and they get injured. I think there's a way of presetting that, but maybe I'm wrong. We can alter the skin color, the face here, so we can go in and adjust things like the hair. So there's lots of hair designs here. So I do have a more detailed video on this, I think, somewhere on my channel if you want to go more into this, but I don't want to go too crazy on this. But you get the idea. You can jump into all of these. You can alter the body as well, so we can be taller, smaller, adjust the chest height and stuff like that. Whether we want to be super muscular, like super duper, or just standard, up to you. So you can also save your favorites if you're going to keep rebuilding stuff, load your favorites, but that's not too important. So once you're happy with that, we're going to start, and so finish here, and it'll say starting the game with this character, is that okay? Yes, and away we go. So that's the sort of class setup of the beginner guide, and now you'll get the little intro to the game, which I will probably skip if I can, if it allows me. I can, so I'll hit the menu button. I don't want to spoil that for you. So you'll start out in a very dark room here, as you can see, and you can then move around. So your left stick is moving you around, and you'll find lots of things spread around, like little messages here. So though the path be broken and uncertain, claim your place as Elden Lord. And then things that you can collect, if you move up to them, you can pillage the remains like this. So I'll hit Y there, and I've got a wizened finger. Lovely, isn't that exciting? And in this area there's not much to do apart from move around. So the camera I'm moving with my right stick, and my left stick is using to guide me around. So we'll open here. And then we're going out into part of the world. You think, oh, okay, this isn't too bad. So we're in the Chapel of Anticipation, and there are many, many locations that you will discover in Elden Ring. You've got to be careful not to fall off of stuff. It's very easy to die, and you will die many, many times in Elden Ring. Many, many times. So we go this way, and you don't get much of a hint where to go to begin with, but you can press the left stick button down to sneak, or press it again to come back to this area here. Jump for me is A, and then B. I think that's B, isn't it, on the Xbox? So I hit many different consoles and stuff, but B is run. And what else have we got? That would be use flasks. So this will all get introduced in a minute, so don't worry too much. So we now get a lovely surprise, and this is where we can sort of basically get our first smashed introduction to Elden Ring. You're like, what the heck was that? And basically you will now start in another area, and you'll come back to that after you have a clue what is going on. So we drop down. Again, there's a story thing which I'm going to skip because I don't want to spoil that for you. And we will appear in a new area. So let's just skip all of this. And we have a flask of crimson tears, which makes no sense whatsoever to you, but don't worry, we're going to explain all that. And cerulean tears. So there's a thing here that as you come up to it, it says the cave of knowledge lies below. Like, brilliant. And it says jump down the hole ahead and you will find the Cave of Knowledge. There you can learn more about game controls and basic actions, as well as other tips that may be helpful during your adventures in the lands between. So if you've never played Elden Ring before, I highly recommend you go through here. So we're going to do that just to show you. It doesn't take too long. We can talk to this weird dude who doesn't say too much. Brave Tarnished, take the plunge. You're a Tarnished, which you'll see from the story. Again, I'm not going to talk too much about that. We'll just drop down here and show you what happens. So we're in here. So you can see it says to use items is X to use an item. So I've just drank something on the bottom there. So you look at the bottom left, flask of crimson tears, which heals you. And then what you're looking for as you go through the game are little save points, which are these. These are sites of grace. As it says, resting at the site of grace will restore your HP, FP, and cleanse any status ailments. It will also refill your sacred flasks. However, most of your enemies you've defeated will be revived. You can find sites of grace by going where the light converges. So there we go. We close that. This is a site of grace. You touch it, you walk up to it. It says Y. Press that. And that is now our nearest effective save point. So if we die, this is where we're going to be working from. So you can see it also says rest. So where I used that flask before, I didn't need to because my health was still full. Top left is my health, my magic, and my stamina. Red, blue, and green in that order. And when they go down, you can replenish the red one with these flask of crimson tears. If I press down on the controller, the blue one will replenish the blue bar, the magic bar, effectively. Trying to think what is FP, I think. And then you've got the stamina underneath, which gradually recovers, when you're not in battle. So we'll rest here, and you'll see that those red flasks will build back up. Now, while we're here, anything that's got a little dot next to it means you've got something new that you can do there. So if we go to the flasks, I've got this option to add charge to flask, and that's because we had that golden seed at the start of the game. So we'll do that. I'll add a charge to the flask. Do I want to use one golden seed to increase your number of flask users? Yes. So that will give me a slight advantage because I've got one extra flask to replenish myself. This one we can't do anything with at the minute because we've not got the stuff for that, but we'll all come out of here. But we can basically make flasks a little more powerful over time as well if we want. So we don't need to pass time, but we can do here. So there's various different things, and we can also sort our chest here. So sorting the chest with this menu, you can place items that you're carrying into the chest for storage or take stored items out of the chest. So if you don't want to have all the stuff with you all the time, you can chuck it in the chest over to the right. But generally you can carry everything in Elden Ring, so it's not really a massive problem. So we'll leave here and carry on into the cave. So as we go up, we will get introduced to further mechanics. So you can see reset the camera or lock onto the target is the right stick for me. And then RB attacks with the weapon that I've got here, like this. So you can see it walks me through what to do. You can memorize sorceries and incantations at sites of grace. You must have a staff equipped to cast sorceries or a sacred seal equipped to cast incantations. Casting sorceries and incantations consumes FP. So we'll go OK. So we'll have a little look at that. So if I press right on the right stick, that's on the D-pad, that's arming my weapon here. But if I press left on the left stick, that is arming what's called my sacred seal, which is how I use incantation magic. And I've got these different things. I've only got two at the minute: heal and the assassin's approach. So if I put that one on with the left button now, and I do have more detailed stuff with this, that makes it quiet as I move around. It makes it a little easier for me to sneak. So use an armor in your left hand or both hands to guard against incoming attacks. So I can use LB to guard. So we'll do that. So if I switch back to my shield with left on the D-pad and then hold LB, I get the shield up so I can kind of protect myself from an attack coming in. You can avoid enemy attacks with a dodge or a backstep. So we can do that as well. So you can see it's LB plus B or just B like this. So a dodge like that is using the left stick, and then or just B just to jump out the way like that. So you want to get used to that timing. These guys are very slow, but things get much more complicated out of this region, as we will see in a bit. So you can see the learning area is quite good. It teaches you the basics about how to start the game, so it's quite good to help you with that. And you're going to get, in a fairly safe area, you're not going to get hurt too bad here. So you come across things that you can acquire, like these materials, so you can use these for crafting. Again, it's giving us a bit of help about these. So we'll get that fruit, and then we just keep going through. And now we've got something a little more challenging. So you can see we've got an enemy here with a shield. So we can switch right hand, switch left hand, and we can also wield with two hands with Y and LB plus RB. So we'll do that. So if I wanted, I can... Whoops, hang on. I'd need to get rid of the shield. Let's just see if we can take this guy out. So you can see, because he's got the shield, it's harder to get past him. So what I need to do is try and get him to attack first. Let's see if he'll attack. Come on, dude. You don't want to. Okay, I'll just roll past you and just keep whacking. There we go. So we broke his shield by keep attacking him, and that was fine. But what I did want to do, which I don't think I do it that way. There we go. So the LB and RB, I'm pressing those as I press Y, and that switches me to the two-handed attack mode. I can now block with LB, and the advantage of this is that I do more damage with my sword, but I am more susceptible to getting hit and damaged, so my block won't work as well as the shield would. So as we go here, it'll block smaller attacks, but bigger attacks it won't. So you can see, even though I blocked, watch my bar at the top, it's still got through my block there, so the shield would be more effective. So this just depends on how you want to play. So you can see here the shield would be better because that's going to block the arrow as it comes forward, and my health is now not falling. So that's a safer way of coming forwards. Whoops. And this is a good example where you want to be using that target button, so pressing the right stick button to target on. Now you can see my health is dropping now, so I need to use a flask of Crimson Tears. So I'm going to hit the X button. And that's going to use the thing in the bottom of the inventory there. And I can flick between that and the blue one by pressing down on the D-pad. So we'll go here. Armaments have special abilities called skills. Using skills consumes FP. So we've got that option as well. So we'll see what we've got. This is the parry command on the shield. And that's the shield. Basically we can knock their sort of sword bash out the way if I time it right. I time that terrible. Sorry about that, I'm trying to remember. So I've not played this way in a while, really. I don't tend to use the shield. So we can also sneak. So we're going to hit L, crouching here, and sneak up to this person. And then if we lock onto them, go behind them. And then if you hit the attack command, you'll do a backstab. So that works quite nice. It's a good thing to learn. And we could do the same sort of thing here, sneaking around. And again, we'll lock on, we'll go behind. And again, bosh. So you can see we do a huge amount of damage with the backstab, much safer. So learning to sneak well is a good plan. Same sort of thing here. Some attacks may break an enemy stance, giving you a chance to perform a critical hit. Hold up right trigger to charge attack. So we're going to get a more powerful attack there. So you can see there. So we'll attempt to land this. There you go. So now they are stunned. And then I've got the ability just to keep whacking into them there. So it's quite good that it introduces you to all of these. This is a stake of Marika, and it says, upon dying you will be revived at the last site of grace that you visited, but if there's a stake of Marika near where you died, you can choose to be revived there instead. Sometimes that might be more beneficial if you are miles away from your site of grace, as we are here, because that site of grace was ages ago. So we'll come out of here, and we'll move forwards. Traverse the mist, and now we've got our first big test. So we've got like a boss here with a much bigger sort of what's the word? So we can guard counter immediately after blocking an enemy attack. So we'll have a little go with that, like that. And you can see because we guard countered, we just took him out really quick. So that wasn't too bad, but if you fail at that, if you died, you'd go back to the stake of Marika. So we'll just have a little look through, just see what we've got. I'm just trying to think which way we go. Must be this way, I think. And we've got that B button that we can run forward if we want to run forward to the next area. So we are looking like we're nearly back to the start, which is cool. So we've gone through the learning area. And hopefully by now you've got a bit of a clue what's going on. Sometimes you'll find emotes and things like this. So the golden seed that we had, if you find trees like this, you can find more of them, but I don't think there's one in this case for this one. But we've done the learning area, so now we're going to go out into the big brave world. And this is something that really throws beginners off when they start. So I'm going to just walk you through the start of that, just to help you, because it is confusing. So we go up here. There's another site of grace. And we'll do this. And there are sometimes areas that are locked off like this that you see, and a confusing point about the game is even though we're walking past these things, we can come back later. So there's keys that you can get that you pop in here, and then that would unlock that portal. But you'll often find places that you can't pass until you come back to them later with, you know, the right gear to unlock that thing. So we got this to work with competitive multiplayer if we want. I'm not bothered about that, but you get the idea. So that is an option. And then we're going to go up in this lift into beautiful Limgrave. And Limgrave is the starting zone. And one of the things I want to point out to you, so I'm going to spoil the game slightly for you with a couple of things we're going to look at, but of course we're just looking at the start of the game, is that you must remember to query characters multiple times to get the amount of information that you require. So now we're into Limgrave. We've got another site of grace here, and finally it's beautiful and light out here. But this guy's easy to miss over here. So I think the first time I played, I ran down here and missed him completely. So we'll just touch the site of grace. So you can see my health is a little bit taken aback because where we've been fighting. So you can see grace exists to guide the tarnished and lead them along the proper path. Even now, some sites of grace retain that power. Their golden rays will guide you along your way, and that's easy to miss. What that's basically saying is there's that little arc there, and it gives you a rough idea of where you want to be going next. You can also use the map to check your current position as well as the terrain. You can update your map with new information by finding map fragments that stills along the road. So your map to begin with is quite brief, so you'll see this if I show you the map. So it tells you blah blah blah, you can check your free position, blah blah blah. And this is basically where we started. These are the sites of grace, and this sort of line is saying, look, the sort of storyline goes this way. So that's giving me a guide where I go. But you can see we've got very little information here because we've not found any map fragments at all yet. So as we find some, we'll get a better guidance on where we are, but we don't get that initially, which is quite frustrating as a beginner. So you talk to this dude?
Oh, yes. Tarnished, are we? Come to the lands between for the Elden Ring? Hmm? Of course you have. No shame in it. Unfortunately for you, however, you are maidenless. Without guidance, without the strength of runes, and without an invitation to the Round Table Hold, you are fated, it seems, to die in obscurity.
Oh dear. And you may just stop there, but what I want to point you out to is if you talk to characters again, you'll get more information.
Luckily for you, however, there is one shining ray of hope for even the maidenless. Me, Vare. Take care to listen. Are you familiar with grace? The golden light that gives life to you tarnished. You may also behold its golden rays, pointing in a particular direction at times. That is the guidance of grace, the path that a tarnished must travel. Indeed. Grace's guidance holds the answers. It will lead you tarnished to the path you are meant to follow, even if it leads you to your grave.
And I think he even says again.
Grace's guidance will reveal the path forward, most certainly. To Castle Stormvale, over on the cliff, the home of the decrepit demigod, Godric the Grafted. It's time you set off, I should think, to Castle Stormvale on the cliff, where Grace would guide you.
So
if you seek the Elden Ring, maidenless as you are.
So Vare is pointed the way, but it's so easy to miss. So from here, you want to be sitting at that site of grace and just rest. So we're at early days, that's fine. I don't think you need to pass the time for it to replenish stuff. No, you don't, so that's cool. But if it had turned to night time, sometimes that's quite useful so you can see stuff better. So we've got all sorts of stuff. We've got here, we've got this examine thing. This is where we can have summon other players to help us, but we don't need that at the minute because I'm not even playing online, so that is irrelevant. But one of the things that's really mean about Elden Ring is it really punishes you sometimes. So this big thing over here is a super high level dude, and he will smash you to pieces. So steer well clear of that. But you want to be thinking where that ray was telling you to point. We know we need to go to the castle, but it's going to be a while before we can get to there. So you'll find all sorts of stuff along the way. You'll find little things that you can attack. You'll find little skulls that if you bash them, sometimes you'll get a little reward. Where is he? Oh, he's coming this way. So I'll just keep running up. And you will also find the occasional merchant. So as you find areas of interest, they should tell you what they are. So we've now found the Church of Elleh. And here we've got another site of grace, so we'll touch that. So there's our save point. And now we've discovered our first, so we can now fast travel between the sites of grace. But this is our first merchant where we can buy stuff. Down the bottom right hand side is the runes that I've got. So I can talk to this dude.
I can see it.
I am
But I
tarnished.
can also see that you're not after my throat. Then why not purchase a little something? I am Elleh, purveyor of fine goods.
So from Elleh, you can purchase or sell stuff. So when we're here, we use the D-pad to go to purchase. And it tells you a bit about them. With the shop menu, you can do this, that, and the other. So there's various things we could buy here. So we could buy different armor. We can buy little cookbooks to increase our crafting repertoire. So this one is the one that enables us to practice the enables the practice of item crafting. So I'm going to buy that just to show you what we're talking about here. I could also buy some throwing daggers. So I've got a ranged weapon there. And then I'll show you how these equip as well. We could also sell stuff, but I don't think I've got anything of too much excitement at the minute that I can sell, so I won't do that. One thing though is be careful what you sell because you cannot buy it back. Once you sell, it disappears, so be real careful about that. So we'll leave that there. So you can see if you've got a crafting kit, you can make various items. Select item crafting from the main menu to make items. You can learn to craft more by finding cookbooks. So Elleh also sold the cookbooks. So if we hit the main menu, there's item crafting, and it'll tell you a bit about it. But the only thing I can make at the minute are row of raisins, which I can use with my horse when I get torrent, but I haven't got torrent yet. But I'll just show you can craft something like that, but nothing else at the minute because I haven't got any other ingredients. So another thing I can do is strengthen my weapons. So you can do that here at a smithing table. And we can just go here, pick up an item. This is what's called a smithing stone. And you need those to upgrade your items. So we'll now use this to strengthen an item. And you want to be careful with this as well because sort of upgrading your weapons, there are so many weapons that you've got and you may want, but there's only so many stones, particularly later on. So there's smithing stones 1 through to 9, I think. No, they go to, I can't remember, 20 or something, but there's somber ones as well. So there's 2 different types, smithing for standard weapons, somber smithing for special weapons. And some of the higher end smithing stones are much rarer to come across. So you can see here at a smithing table I can strengthen armaments up to +3. Past that I need to go and find a blacksmith. But this will also cost runes and I haven't got enough money. I could do this one, but this one I can't do at the minute. So I'll try and find a little bit of money. We'll come back here in a sec, just so you can see how that works. So we were told we had to go to Stormvale Castle, but because your character is such low level, if you go straight to Stormvale Castle, you will get smashed. So what I'm going to do is just walk you to an area where you want to be spending a fair bit of time, and then from there I'll explain what you want to be doing. So we could do that sneak command here, take out the guard. So you can see each time we kill someone, we get some runes. So that guard got 64 runes down the bottom. There's some more of those row of fruits that we had. And what we're basically trying to do is to take on as many enemies as we can without dying to get ourselves sort of stuff to, or enough runes to buy gear and to upgrade. I'll just see if I can jump up here because there's another rune fragment here just to show you the sorts of things that you can collect. But what I want to get you to is this area down here, which is called Gatefront Ruins, which is like the first little area that you can earn runes fairly easily. So I will just explain this area for you. So we're just going to scoot around the outside of it and explain what's going on here. So one of the weird things with Elden Ring is when you kill enemies, if you rest at Site of Grace, they come back again. So there's an upside and a downside to that. The upside is that you can keep killing them, keep earning runes, but the downside is you've got to keep killing them again, and if they're blocking the way that you need to go next, you kind of got to get rid of them before you can get through, or you can run fast through there. So when we're here, if we rest at the Site of Grace, what we should get is a little cutscene with someone. And I'm going to skip it, but basically she will give us a steed so we can move around quicker. So there she is.
Heard of the Finger Maidens?
Oh, I think I have to listen to this.
They serve the Two Fingers, offering guidance and aid to the tarnished. But you, I am afraid, are maidenless.
Oh dear.
I can play the role of maiden, turning runes into strength to aid you in your search for the Elden Ring. You need only take me with you
And you want to do that.
to the foot of the Erd Tree. Then it's settled. Summon me by grace to turn runes into strength. Ah, another matter. I bequeath to you this ring.
So this is your spectral steed, which is rather key. So we're going to get
Use
that.
it to traverse great distances. It will summon a spectral steed named Torrent. Torrent has chosen you.
Lucky old me.
Treat him with respect.
Cheers.
Shall I turn your runes to strength? Let my hand rest upon you. For but a moment, share them with me.
So
Your thoughts,
we've now got the
your
option to
ambitions.
level up, but I've not got enough
The
runes. So the top
principles you
left,
would
we need
follow.
829 for that. So we'll come back out of there, and we will have a little look. I'm just seeing whether I've got any interesting spells already. It doesn't look. I've only got 2, so we can't do anything with my spells yet. But that will become more powerful later. See you later, lady. This is what I was talking about at night time. We've also got this option with the pouch where we can put stuff in. So there's all sorts of stuff we can do here. I'm trying to think how this works now. There we go. So we hit the pause button, and then the pouch you can see is accessed by those buttons there. I'm just trying to think how. Yeah, so I hold Y to access those, and I can. Oh, actually, yeah. What I want to do is apply something else here. So I'm going to say in the down button here, we'll switch that and say, give me the spectral steed in the pouch. So now when I hold that Y, I've got the spectral steed like so, and I can ride around on this. And then similarly, if I hold Y again and press down, that goes away. So there's the pouch. So this is where I was saying you want to pass time. So sometimes it's harder to see what's going on in the dark. So I'm going to rest until morning. And then I'm just going to show you a couple more things before we finish this beginner guide that will hopefully help you out. So we've come to morning, so this should brighten up in a little bit. And this is an area where you can really start practicing with your combat. So we'll sneak forward here, and we'll take this dude out, like so. We've got another enemy over there, which I might not be able to quite get yet, so I'm going to wait till they come back. So while we're doing that, you'll find loads of stuff like this, for example, treasure chests and all sorts, where you can get special items. And maybe we'll talk a quick bit about items as well in a minute. So let's just sneak off this way. So we can see, by keeping well away from the enemy, we can then do the backstab again. And ideally you want to be not having anyone detect you, so the sneak is good when you're week to begin with, because we want to keep collecting runes from these people as we go. And we've got another one over here, who's coming back at us by the looks of things. So we could also, so yeah, what I was saying about the equipment. So this is the equipment page here, and what I'm going to do is, let me think about this. Where's those darts that we had? Is it here? Oh no, they're bolts. I thought we could use darts somewhere. Oh no, I think they're actually something. Uh oh. Well, that's one thing to bear in mind. You don't have a pause in Elden Ring. You have to rest at a site of grace. So that was a bit daft of me. So I've got myself some other armour there. So, sorry, with that equipment, what I was looking for was darts you can throw. So, sorry, throwing daggers, there they are. So I've got one there that I could use, and I can throw that at someone. So I press down now, and if I've got that and I target onto someone, we'll throw the dagger, which I'll do for you now just to show you it, because that's an option. I think we also had... Did I make... I thought I made some darts. Maybe I didn't. Or is it a weapon here? I thought I did, but it's not looking like I did. Never mind. Maybe I didn't make them. So we'll just go up here and just show you that dagger in action now. So we lock on here, and now hit the X command to use that. And this guy's going to come forward at us now. So we could use that dodge. And then we could try the super hard whack. Like so. And then I've got options here. I could either go and rest and everyone would reset, or I could go up here and see what's in this chest. So we've got a great sword there. We're going to talk about weapons in just a second, but I just want to point out a couple more things here. I've got to sneak here because I don't want to take on that guy because he's going to call everyone. But this here is what you're looking for maps. So whenever you see one of these, if you grab that, that'll give you the map that I want here. So I'm just going to run off here so we don't get caught by that guy, like so. And there's all sorts of stuff you'll find in this area, which I'll show in a separate video, but I can't keep going on and on in this beginner's guide because it's just going to go on forever. But if we take our Spectral Steed, we can ride through here. You want to turn the lock off by pressing the right stick off, and then you can go wherever. You can ride back out to Church of Elleh or wherever you want. But rather than have to ride everywhere, once you've got the Site of Grace, as long as you are away from people, you can choose your map. And there's the map. Now we can see what's going on. So we've got a map fragment, but I can choose the Church of Elleh and say fast travel there, and that saves me some time. So that's all good.
This way, Tarnished. May I have a word?
So this is Ranni, and she will also give you something that will help you. And you need to be at Church of Elleh at night time. Talk to her.
Meet thee, Tarnished. I am the witch Renna. I'd heard tell of a Tarnished hurtling about atop a spectral steed. And upon looking into the matter, the talk, I surmise, is of thee. Thou art possessed of the power, no? To call forth a spectral steed named Torrent.
I am.
As I had hoped, I was entrusted this for thee by Torrent's former master.
So that's the spirit calling bell that will allow us to call spirits, which I'll show you in a minute.
'Tis a bell for calling forth spirits. Summon them with it. From ash and return to the Erdtree, the spirits will obey thine command but briefly. As they recall battles past, now it is thine, to do with as thou wishest.
So you can see there, it tells you a little about summoning spirits. We can also talk to Ranni more.
Forgive mine intrusion, Tarnished. I doubt we shall again meet. But all the same, learn well the lands between. How long will it be, I wonder, before the Tarnished tire of obeisance to the two fingers?
And away she goes. So we can rest now and go back to day. So we'll go until noon again. And if we go and see, what's his face, Carly, we could opt to sell some of that armour, or we could use that armour. It's entirely up to you.
Weren't you... Well, you're back. Care to buy something?
So you can opt to sell stuff, or keep it. So if we have a little look through here, so I'm using the right button to flick through. We've got the Longsworn's Great Sword, and we could get 100 runes for that. We've got the Flail here. So these are just things that you could sell. So some things you'll get lots of, and some things you won't. So this surcoat you would typically get more of, and you can compare it to your one. So a higher value here is going to help you a little bit more. It'll give you a bit more protection. So this has more protection for physical damage, like you can see here. Slightly less for magic damage than my one here. It's not as good with immunity or robustness or focus, so in my case I don't really want to use it, so I could opt to sell it. So I'll say okay, sell that one, and then I've got myself a bit of runes there that I can use. We've also got rune fragments here, ruin fragments we could sell. It's not too exciting, but we can also use that for crafting. But basically, as you collect stuff, you can opt to sell it if you so wish. So more rare things that you found in chests, they don't tend to be one-offs, so you might want to keep them to begin with.
Goodbye.
Buy. So we'll have a little look and see whether we've got enough to use the smithing table. We have now. We've got 280 runes, so we'll upgrade this. So that's now broadsword +1, and in the middle there you can see it's upgraded our physical attack. So that sword is now a little more powerful. So what I will do now is just flick off back to where we were before, and just show you these spirit ashes, because that will really help you as well. So this is where we were, that site of grace near Gatefront ruins, and then I'll show you the spirit ashes, and then we will finish up. So the spirit ashes is going to enable us to work a little bit better here. So I need to assign them. So I'll go to the menu here, and we'll apply them here. Basically, the way these work is if I can use them, they will glow. So at the minute I can't use them. Now I can. You see that little sort of sign on the left-hand side just above parry? That means I can summon them. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to hopefully take on this dude here. Now this dude is quite powerful. It's a powerful knight, but I'm hoping my wolves will help out. So hopefully he's going to come forwards. I don't want to pull everyone else as well though, so I'm just going to back off, and hopefully he will come along. So the spirit ashes will take on the knight as well, and that's taking the aggro off of me. So now I will try and take him out as well. But you can see he does a huge amount of damage to me, so now I'm healing up. But this is like our first serious battle. So you can see I'm in trouble. So I need the wolves to help, so I've dodged away while I heal up, and now we're trying to take out the knight like so. But you can see everyone has pulled here now, so we've got a lot of battling to do. So of course without the wolves I'd be in big trouble, but with the wolves I'm doing alright. So we'll just smash all those out, and if you look at my runes now, we've got quite a lot of runes there. We got a couple of nice drops there, super duper shield. We've now also cleared out an area over here, and I just want to show you something else that's pretty cool here as well. But we've got a couple of more things here. So we've got, you can see our lone wolves have had a bit of a beat in there, but not too bad. But we're now quite strong in that because we upgraded that weapon. Now we've got 1,000 runes. I'll just show you in here because there's something very useful in here as well. I know this is a big beginner guide. It is a big beginner guide, but hopefully useful. So here we go. So we get this. So you can see you can use Ashes of War to grant your armaments new skills at sites of grace. An armament can only have one skill. Any skill it previously had will be removed. An armament's type determines what skills it can have. So you can basically change the special skills that are on a weapon as you collect more of them. So at the minute I've got a parry on my shield. I don't know what we've got on the sword. We'll have to have a little look. Let's see if we get rid of the... There, we've got square off on the sword. So that would be this. Which is just sort of like a kind of block, which isn't very exciting. So we'll just go back here. I'll show you leveling up. and then we're done, I think. I'll show you a little bit of comparison on weapons as well. So we'll just rest just here, just to reset everyone. And we'll level up. So we'll level up. Runes needed 829, and we've got 1023, so we can level up. So you're free to level up whatever you want here, but to begin with, you probably want to go with Vigor. That just increases your HP, but whenever you move these left and right, it'll show you what it's going to improve for you. So I'm going to go with the Vigor. We'll confirm that and say yes. And the other thing was the Ashes of War. So this was it here. So it's saying, look, you've got this broadsword here. If you wish, you can change the skill to one of these other ones that you've got saved. So I've got this Storm Stomp, so I'm going to do that. And I'll go with Quality. And then what that will do is now I've got a different skill whenever I've got just the sword equipped, so I can use that to, you know, sort of send people away from me a little bit. So there's all sorts of ones that you can do like that. So a couple of other things just before we go. The equipment. If you've got other equipment that you can use, you can select it and compare it. So anything that shows as blue would be better compared to your current one. So blue would be good, red would be bad. So this one is no good for guarded damage negation, but it is better on the physical power, as is this. However, if you look down below there, if the attributes required show as red, I can't use it. So I'm not strong enough to hold this sword. So I can't use this here, and that's why it's got a red cross next to it, why I can't use it. Same with this, same with this. So none of these are any good for me at the minute. So this one only dexterity of 18, this one strength of 15, so none of these can be used at the minute, so I'm stuck with a broadsword. Not that the broadsword's that bad. There's another thing here that's important to talk about, which is attribute scaling, so strength and dexterity. So each weapon is linked, or has a bonus of damage, basically, based on your core stats. So this one scales with strength and dexterity, but not that greatly because it's got a rating of D. So the closer to A, the better, or S ideally. S is like super duper. But all of these are D, so there's nothing too exciting here at the minute. So you can see the finger seal scales better if you pump stats into faith over strength, but strength will still give it improvement. And you can see your character stats on the right hand side and whether anything changes. Another thing that's important on the right hand side is your equipment load. So the heavier, the more stuff you put in your equipment here. You can have multiple swords added here, multiple things here, heavier armor, etc. The more you put in there, so if we look at, say, the shield, I can't use this one anyway, but you can see my load would change to heavy load because the shield is so heavy, but it needs a whopping 36 strength to use it, so I can't use it for a long time unless I really pump stats into there. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of how things work. You can also see there we can get access to the system and see all the controls that we saw before. From here, what I suggest you is you just keep rotating around here and you do what's called rune farming. So you take out a bunch of these guys again and again and go down here, save, level up gradually over time. You can also go that way, and there's another rune farm there, but I'd say that's more like level 15 and above. Off to Stormvale is quite a bigger ask until you're sort of, I'd say, level 20 to 30, because there's quite a nasty boss in there. So if we just have a little look at the map, you can go through there, then you'll have more sites of grace here that will unlock more storyline, and then that's the route to the big castle. But it's going to be a while before you can take anyone on there. But there is plenty of stuff that you can explore around in this region. But I would certainly just stay in Limgrave and explore around here and around here, and down on the map here. Elden Ring is very much a game that welcomes exploring. But if you need something in particular, have a little look on my YouTube channel or search for it. So if you need help with how equipment works or whatever, have a little look at the tutorials that I put at the end of here. Hopefully that helps you out. If it does, give us a thumbs up, please. Much appreciated. Any comments welcome. I know that was a big old tutorial, but hopefully it answered a lot of questions. Thanks for watching.